Andrew McCart, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm here in Belfast, man. It's been a long time coming for me. I'm here with the main man himself, Mick Conlan. Mick, big time boxing is back in Belfast. It wasn't long ago I was here 6-7 times a year. This is the first time I've been here in 18 months, man. It's good to be back. If it's good for me to be back, man, you must be delighted to be back in Belfast fighting in front of your fans.
Unbelievably delighted. I'm very, very excited, very calm, relaxed, and looking forward to Friday night. I think it's going to be fantastic. I hope you have Grace lyrics, ready to go again, because I know you love a bit of Grace. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Talk to me about, I think Craig Stevens mentioned at the press conference there that you fought behind closed doors twice now. But I was here last Féile Leigh Festival in August 2019. Now, you asked me a question when I interviewed, I think maybe a couple months later, or after pre-fight, you said, how did you find that, Andrew? And I said, one of the best atmospheres I've ever been to. What kind of atmosphere are you expecting this time round? That Belfast has been starved of boxing, but now it's finally back.
So I always thought it would be very hard to beat 2019, because the atmosphere was so good. It's a once in a lifetime kind of thing you experience, but I think the fact that people have been starved of boxing for so long, and the fact that this is the first show back, it could beat it. But listen, number one's always going to be number one, and that's what I was thinking. But this one, I think we're in for an unbelievable night, an unbelievable atmosphere.
And I'm hoping that as well, because like I said to you, it was one of the best atmospheres I've been to. But even if it's only 8,000, it's not a stadium fight with 70,000 or anything like that. But that 8,000 fans that are in that false park make a hell of a noise.
Yeah, you won't notice the difference from 2019 till now, because 8,000. There's 4,000 people there. You still wouldn't notice the difference. They still make that type of noise in that atmosphere. So, I'm expecting the same, if not more, this time, just because of them being starved and the craving for boxing here. It was 90% sold out within 4 hours. So, and basically, so there's 1 or 2 tickets left. I think still floating around, and they're possibly going to put another few thousand on, or 1,000 on, I think. So, there's a big appetite here.
Well, you need a dance partner to bring in these sort of crowds and stuff like that. Maybe TG Doheny, the All-Irish Clash. Now, if somebody asked me a question, I always say, when you get 2 Mexican fighters going at it, you always expect a war. You always expect the blood, the guts, and leaving it all in the ring, going out in your shield type mentality. I said that the same with 2 Irish guys going at it. When 2 Irish fighters come at it on home soil, there is not any chance that one of them is going to give anything away. They're not going to give. They're going to go out on their shield. They're going to give it 100%. TJ and yourself, when I said all that, can we as fans, can we expect that war, that grit and that determination from both of you?
I think you've seen a wee bit of it today. It's spilled over a wee bit today. I'm just poking the fire, and listen, I know TJ. He's an angry little man. Has one of those faces, just looks angry all the time, and walks around with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. And he's coming into this fight, on paper as the underdog. I have him as the favourite, because I like to focus on that myself. He's much more experienced than me, but that's why I consider myself going in here as the guy that's got to prove something. But he's getting in and thinking these guys are underestimating me, and thinking with the chip on his shoulder that he's being overlooked. But that's one thing he's definitely not being, is overlooked, because I've trained strenuously for this. I know exactly what it can entail and what it will entail. There could be times in there where it gets in the war, and the 2 guys try to leave it all in there, but I think I'll box the ears of him, and when we need to fight him, because he will have to revert to that at some stage, I'll outdo him that way as well. I know what type of fighter he is. He's a mid-range type fighter, backhand happy type fighter, and I'm looking forward to going and showing my own level, and where I have improved and where I belong on Friday night.
You're talking about that press conference, you alluded to it, you've seen a little bit of that needle and that fire in both your bellies today. Now, he alluded to discrepancies and stuff like this, and I asked a question which basically ignited all that stuff, so I apologise for asking the question. I was just trying to do my job, but that's the first time I've ever sounded professional asking the right question at a press conference, so I'm kind of 50-50. It's like a bittersweet moment for me. But yeah, so he feels like there's a little bit of discrepancies with the weight and stuff like that. Can you elaborate on your side of the story?
No, I was delighted you were asked the question, because I wanted him to say what he had to say, and so I could just kind of say to him, listen, you're battling it. I know all week he's been complaining that I've been training for a 10-round fight, not a 12-round fight. I was told this fight was at one. He said it was 122. It was 124, and he agreed 2.5 weeks ago. But the fight, well, obviously, the WBA has come in and says they'll give it an interim title of featherweight if he's want, and I said, no problem. Listen, it's going to be at 124 for no belt, so I'm happy enough to go at 126 for a WBA interim belt. It's a good belt to have. It puts you in a position in that division. Although my aspirations are still at 122. I can flick between both. In boxing, you don't have to be stuck to one place, and I think Canelo showed that. I'm not comparing myself to Canelo in any type of way, but you can move between weights. And he's, once it was kind of says it was 126, he started to say, well, no, it's 122. After agreeing to 124, so he says we'll go to 124, and he said no, it's 122, and I didn't agree to 12 rounds. I wanted 10 rounds. I have been preparing for 10 rounds. There's no fucking difference in the rounds, really. Like, let's be honest, 2 rounds more, and he's fought 12 rounds plenty of times, more times than I have. So I don't understand why he's kind of battling it. Maybe he just feels it's unfair, but it's not unfair. This has all been kind of approved and been talked about, and his team have known about it. Whether or not he has or not, I don't know. He's saying he hasn't, but he's been told. He was told it was agreed. So if he's talking about discrepancies, listen, the fight's going to happen. He's done a 12-week training camp or whatever week he's done in Boston, away from his family in Australia. He's not going to walk away from a fight where he's going to earn good money. He's ready. He's prepared. He's not going to walk away from that over 1 or 2 pounds, whatever he's complaining about. It's not going to be at 122. It'll be at 124 for the 126 interim belt, and that's that. I'm happy to go there. That's no problem. It doesn't bother me. He's talking about weight and stuff. Weight doesn't bother me. I can do 122. So 124 is nothing really. So
124 for the WBA interim featherweight title. Is that what we can expect on Thursday at the weigh-in?
Yes, of course, of course.
You mentioned that WBA interim at featherweight. Now, it's interesting that you'll fight for that title, because you mentioned there yourself that, just stepping away, I'll come back to the TG Doheny fight, because like I say, it's one of the, everyone's talking about, like, they might fly under the radar with the fights that we've got at fight camp on Saturday night, but this fight here for me is a 50-50 all-Irish clash, which is a great fight. But I do want to mention that WBA belt because Leigh Wood won that world title against Kanju at the weekend. Now, you fought aspirations, you said, at 122, but if you go on and beat TJ on Friday night, you win that title, and I know how hungry you are for that world title. You've spoke about it for best part of 2 years with me now, and you're ready for this fight. You're ready for a world title. Would that interest you, that Leigh Wood fight?
100%. The Leigh Wood fight, the Santa Cruz fight, whatever fight it is up there, would interest me. The fight that still interests me is the 122 WBO fight. And that will be for WBO and WBC. So my eyes are keen on all of them, but first I've got to take out TJ, and as you says, it's a 50-50 fight. It's a tough fight. By no means necessary is this a walk in the park, and by no means necessary is this a foregone conclusion. I've got to go in there, perform my best ability to beat a hungry TJ who wants to get back to the top where he believes he belongs, where his chip on his shoulder stands out. So listen, I'm fully prepared, I'm fully ready, and I'm excited.
You mentioned that you wanted to face a former world champion. The Isaac Dogbo fight was spoken about, and then that fell through. But now the TJ, is this the fight you need to propel you into that world stage, so your next fight will be for that world title?
Yeah, I think so. This is the fight, and I seen Frampton interview today saying like it could have been forgiven to take an easy fight and fight nobody and just kind of hold out for the world title, but I didn't. It was a tough test in TJ, and someone that will prepare me for a world title. It's all well and good fighting for a world title, but you got to win one, and you got to beat these type of guys to win them. So, I believe this is the right fight at the right time for me.
Which ones interest you more then? 122 or 126? I mean, they've both got solid champions in them. Right now, the featherweight division domestically with Kid Galahad and Jazza Dickens fighting for the IBF the night after you. Do you have a preference in where? I know you mentioned the 122, you got aspirations done it, but looking at that featherweight division, man, it's tasty, isn't it?
The thing is, I've been chasing the 122 now for a while, and I've been in the position for a while, and I really want the winner of Fulton Féile Leigh. but the 126 is hot as shit, isn't it? So, either or. I've no preference. I don't have no preference. I believe I'll beat anybody who's in front of me when I get into the ring. So, I'd be confident either way. But I'm excited. Listen, there's a lot of opportunities ahead, but I can't think too far ahead because Friday night I have a real fight in my hands.
What can the West Belfast crowd expect from you? I mean, this Féile thing seems like it's going to be an ongoing thing with you, and there's just, when you think about it, that this is your home, your people, and all this sort of stuff, there's just no way on this planet, no matter who you fight, even if you do fight Canelo at the Féile, you're not losing, are you? Nah,
listen, I can't lose here. This is kind of my Cinco de Mayo or my September 18th Mexican holiday. Maybe St. Patrick's Day, Cinco de Mayo. So yeah, I'm excited for it. It's one where I think brings out the best in me and brings out great performances. So I'm expecting to go in there and put on a masterclass, and whether it goes early or whether it goes long, it doesn't matter to me. But I will be victorious. Final one then. What can we expect from you? I mean, there is an app that we've been promoting. I don't know if you've seen it, that Fight Picks app. Have you seen that? Yeah. Yep. Well, it's we've done our picks as at AFL TV. I'm not going to disclose who because I'm a neutral guy, right? But that app seems to think that you're the favourite going into this fight. So what can the fans in attendance, the 8,000 fans, maybe even 9,000 like you alluded to, what can they expect from you on, and it's on Fight TV as well, so the fans on Fight TV, what can they expect from Mick Conlan this Friday night? Just a Mick Conlan victory, by no means necessary. I think it'll be a tough fight. There'll be times where I'll have to dig deep, there'll be times where I'll have to use my skill set and my mindset and remain in a calm position. There'll be times you could be in trouble in there with TJ because he's a good fighter. So I've just got to remain focused and stay on it, and be me for the 12 rounds, and I'll walk away victorious. I've got to say as well, these two here have been absolutely disciplined, being quiet, man. Look, you would think it's just me and you in this room, but if I pan the camera around, there's Harlem, there's Aaron Chalmers down there. Look, see, you've raised them well. Good kids. Good kids. They're good kids. Mick, as always, it's a pleasure to speak to you, and honestly, I'm looking forward to this. Like I said, Grace and Féile and stuff like that, it's going to be a great night, and I can't wait. But until the weigh-in, I'll see you then, and thanks very much, Mick. The walkout will be fantastic. Something live happening. Oh, really? Ooh. For me? Of course. Well, I like it. You'll know the words. Yeah, let's do it, mate. Thanks, Mick.